So welcome to Mindful Monday. So excited to be here. So blessed, feeling super blessed to be here and sharing this sacred space with you guys today. A lot of things coming up over the last week or so, certainly over the weekend, and the blessings that are upon us, that we've just come through this beautiful full moon and this time of springing and rising up and Easter and all the things. And, I think sometimes we can get so caught up in our thought processes in our heads that we forget to come home and really stay in the present moment with it all and cherish this beautiful time that is around us. And so, yeah, we come together each Monday for Mindful Monday and settle into a practice to first start out with bringing us fully present and home to the body and an embodied presence. And then we go into the heart of our meditation. And today, the heart of our meditation is to kind of dive into what it means to be the observer or the sacred witness in our life and in our meditation practice. And so here we go, just diving in, taking that deep breath into your heart space and exhaling out all the static energy, stuck energy that might be in your heart. So taking another breath in into that beautiful heart of yours and exhaling and thanking your heart. Thanking your heart for showing up, for being present, for beating, for loving, for giving you life. That heartbeat is that electromagnetic wavelength that comes from your beautiful heart and connects you into the earth and the electromagnetic field of the earth, bringing us into resonance, into frequency. And so we're just going to start with that awareness, this time starting with the bottom of our feet. And just breathing into the feet, softening, softening, softening the toes. Breathing in and exhaling any stagnant energy. Saying hello with gratitude to the feet, the toes. Maybe even thanking those feet for carrying you around. And bringing that awareness into the ankles and the calves. Breathing in and softening. Softening the muscles. Softening and letting go of any static energy, any stagnant energies. And bringing that awareness to the knees. Softening the knees. Feeling the energy behind the kneecaps, that very tender space. And just soften. Say hello to your beautiful knees. Bringing that awareness now to the top of your legs, those hamstrings and the quads. Great muscles in here, the bone structures, and just softening, allowing the spaciousness to arrive. as you soften. Softening into the pelvic bowl and into the hips, releasing the tensions, the stories, the grief. Just coming into the present moment in our softness with embodied presence. Coming into that sacral area, just at the lower back, and breathing in, softening and loving all that's there. Even if you have a little pain in that lower back, let's just breathe into it and soften. Bringing that awareness up the spine, breathing in and opening each vertebrae to this embodied presence. Breathing into the belly, softening, letting it all hang out. The belly is home to so many of our organs that do such big work. Maybe you want to take some time right here, right now, to breathe into the liver. Breathe into the gallbladder. Breathe into the pancreas. Thanking them all for the great job that they do. Those great intestines, processing, cleansing, just breathing in and bringing the awareness. Bringing that awareness up to your chest. Breathing in, feeling the air coming in through your nose and down into your lungs. Noticing maybe the rise and fall of your chest. Just softening into your heart. Loving your heart. And bringing that awareness to the place right in the back of your heart. The back of your heart and see if you can breathe into that space. And exhale some of that stagnant energy that's right there in the back of your heart. Old stories, pain and suffering. Notice when you exhale all of that stagnant energy out, how expansive it might feel within your body, that space between your shoulder blades. Maybe a little fear tucked back there. We just soften in. Softening and breathing, coming home to the body, coming home to this moment. We are awake, we are alert, we are aware of this magical opening that is available in each breath. Just simply by coming home to the moment and softening over and over and over again. We soften, we breathe, noticing how your shoulders feel right now. Do you have the weight of the world on your shoulders? Are you carrying old stories on your shoulders? Breathe, soften. Leaning into each moment with no agenda, no place to go, nothing to do, just be here. Just be now. Allowing the moment to just unfold as you soften. Noticing your neck. Muscles in your neck, can they soften a little more? Just noticing all the body sensations without the judgment, just allowing it to happen, to unfold and soften. Bringing that awareness to your jaw. Seeing if you can bring that slack jaw in and release some of that clenching throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the life. Maybe bringing that half smile, that smile of knowing that all is well. Breathing in through the nose, feeling the air coming in through the nostrils, how it arrives right there. Perfectly perfect, right to your lungs through the nose. And can you even soften a little bit through the sinus cavities? Around the eyes. Up and through the forehead and through the third eye. Just breathing in and softening and bringing that awareness. That awareness of grace, of softness, of gentleness. All available right here within your own body. The nature of who we are. And coming into the top of your head. Maybe you'd like to picture and sense a lotus flower at the top of your head that is opening. Opening and opening and opening you to the divine, to this eternal Tao, the oneness, the all that is. And sweeping your access point up to the top of your head. And again, that's that place that you access energy outside of your energetic field. So if you have any openings, go ahead and sweep them up to the top of your head. Breath and intention. Fully present, alert, awake in your life. Soft and subtle, open to receive. Embodied presence. And if you would like to dedicate your practice today to a special being, now is a great time to do that. So we come into the heart of our practice today, leaning in, understanding, feeling, sensing this sacred witness within the observer. Who is this sacred witness? Where does the sacred witness abide? So in our meditation practices, we often use this key phrase, become the observer. Or in the shamanic terms, we use to become that sacred witness in our life. So we want to dive in a little deeply today to what does it mean to become the observer? So one of my favorite teachers is Krishnamurti. And Krishnamurti says that we're observing all the time. And that as we are observing, the observer actually needs to disappear. So we must become aware without this need to direct or come with a preconceived notion about whatever it is that we're observing. He says we watch, and that the watching is what is most important. To just watch, observe whatever is arriving, whatever is showing up, to observe it. If we watch it without being the observer, then we can see what's really happening. If we become the observer, observing, then we've entered into duality. And we understand that duality is a construct of the mind. And in fact, there is nothing but oneness. We have this almost obsessive need today in our culture to analyze, to analyze everything that is coming up. We have to remember too that the analyzer thinks that they're different from what's being analyzed, right? We're not analyzing all that shows up in the thinking mind. We're observing it. We're observing what is showing up in our meditations. What are the repeated thoughts? What are the repeated actions? As the observer, we are able to get the story of what is being observed. The observation itself brings forth the movement of change in what is being observed. So just observing whatever shows up for you, whatever thoughts arise, just observing them brings about movement and change. So it's important for us to observe what is happening, what are the stories in our heads without a preconceived outcome. Is it the story of time, something that has happened in your past that keeps playing out again in your head? Is there a preconceived outcome? Are we trying to change the outcome by going over the story again and again? The observer, the sacred witness, has no agenda. No preconceived outcome. Non-attachment. And this is where it gets exciting, because now we can show up as the observer, observing what is showing up, and we can get curious about it. We have no need to change whatever arises. We just watch. So as the thoughts come in, we don't need to attach anything to it. We can just watch. Watch the thoughts. Be the observer, the sacred witness. It takes practice. It takes practice to even be aware that the thoughts have taken away your whole moment, day, week, month, our whole lives. Caught up in the monkey mind. Can we just observe, be the sacred witness, knowing that change is going to happen just because we are observing. Science shows us that what is being watched undergoes fundamental change. There is a quantum physics double slit experiment that's pretty famous experiment that shows that when a single electron are fired through two slits, they create waveforms that produce an interference pattern on the screen or on the wall, wherever it's being projected. However, put a measuring device there to observe the phenomena, and the electrons begin to produce two single bands, not an interference consistent with the waveform, but the very act of measuring it or observing it made the electrons act as though they knew they were being observed. Thich Nhat Hanh talks about this space of stillness. And he says, be still and know that you are God. And he says, be still means to become that space of peacefulness and concentration. Calming the mind. So in this space of calming the mind, we can look deeply. And what he means by looking deeply is observing. When we say, let's lean in and look deeply into this, we mean let's observe what's really happening while we become that stillness. With that deep concentration. When we come from that deep concentration and looking deeply through the observer eyes, the observer and the observed sort of disappear. And the result is this true nature of what it is, the object itself. The true nature. This is where we have true insight. Just by observing. When we stop and drop into this stillness and observe, we can look into the heart of a flower and see its true nature. We can see the clouds and the sunshine, the minerals, the time. We can see earth, all of the elements that have been involved. The story unfolds. We see that without the clouds, there would be no rain, and there would be no flower. Without time, there would be no bloom. In fact, what we start to really lean in and understand is that the flower is made of non-flower elements. it's not an independent thing, an individual existence. So be still and know that I am God is what Thich Nhat Hanh means. To know that you are not independent. In fact, we would observe that there's a great interdependence. We notice the awareness. We notice ourselves observing. We become more and more aware of this mind process. Noticing how the mind can just take your whole energy if you allow it. The thinking mind can zap your energy, knock you out, put you fast asleep. One morning the Buddha was talking with his disciples and the king had come to listen to him. And he was sitting in front of the Buddha. He was not accustomed, the king was not accustomed to sitting on the floor. And so the king was feeling his sense of being uncomfortable, fidgety, changing sides, trying not to disturb, but also trying not to be noticed by the Buddha, because he wasn't sitting so peacefully, silently. He noticed that he was continuously moving, and the Buddha noticed that he was continually moving his big toe on his foot for no reason, just to be busy with the busyness. There are people who cannot be without busyness. The mind wants to be with busyness. So the Buddha stopped talking and he asked the king, "Can you tell me why you're moving your big toe?" The Of course, the king was not aware of him moving his big toe. You're doing 1,001 things, and you're not even aware of it. Unless somebody points at them, you might not take any note of it. And the moment that the Buddha asked, the toes stopped moving. And the Buddha asked, "Why have you stopped moving your toe?" The king said, "Well, you're putting me in an embarrassing situation. I'm not sure why I was moving my toe." The king said, "This much I do know. You asked me the question, and then it stopped. And I have not done anything. Neither was I moving it, nor have I stopped it." The Buddha said to his disciples, "Do ye see the point? The toe belongs to the man. It moves, but he's not aware of his movement. And the moment he becomes aware, because I asked the question, the very awareness immediately stops the toe. He doesn't stop it. The very awareness. Just the awareness is enough to stop the busyness. This is the mind caught up in the busyness of the day, caught up in the traffic of thoughts, unaware. So we come to meditation to observe the movements of the thoughts in the mind, to be the observer. That sacred witness, standing on the side of the road, watching the traffic with no judgment, no evaluation, not even any appreciation, just pure observation. This is where we give our energy away to the roaming thoughts. In shamanism, when we talk about energy leaks, this is one of the big places that we become aware that our energy is being sucked out by all of our thoughts and the judgment of those thoughts. And as we become more and more aware and accustomed to this observation, we start bringing our energy home. and your energy goes on growing as your mind becomes more and more present. The traffic becomes less and less in your mind, and your witnessing self begins to increase. And that energy becomes strong with integrity, discipline, discipline to be awake and aware and observing. We hold this energy, and holding our own energy, because our thoughts are not going towards objects and thoughts that are no thoughts and no objects anymore. Most of the time, it's not even in the present moment. So it simply stays here and ignites the curiosity. They say that this is the path that is called enlightenment, containing our energy just by observing what is here in the moment and now, with no need to change it or fix it. But just to be that sacred witness. The impartial being observing our own mind. Sometimes in that observation, it's helpful in our meditation to just give little labels. Or saying hello. Oh, I observe the judger. Hello, judger. Hello, back pain. Hello, unworthiness. All of the whatever the thoughts are. No judgment, just observation. Oh, there you are. I see you. This allows us to become impartial observers in our minds. And through the practice of this sacred witness, we learn to slow down. Simply watch our thoughts happen instead of reacting to each and every one of those thoughts. passing clouds going by in the sky. Bhima Children tells us that all that mental activity is just like the passing storms, here one moment and gone the next. She says, you are the sky, and everything else is just the weather. The sacred witness of your life. Separating ourselves out from the thoughts, non-attachment. The scientist cannot become the science. The scientist has to remain separate from what he's doing. The experimenter is not allowed to become the experiment themselves. We're just watching, observing our life, observing our thoughts. Osho tells us, according to mysticism, existence and experience is divided into three parts: the known, the unknown, and the unknowable. The known and the unknown one day, the unknown will become the known one day, but the unknowable will remain unknowable. It will remain mysterious. Whatever you do, the mystery will always surround existence. The mystery will always be there around life, around love, and around meditation. The mystery cannot be destroyed. Taking that deep breath in. Exhale. Thanking your inner observer and all that has been observed today. Thanking each and every one of you for being here and walking this journey with me. And I hope in some way this meditation has expanded your heart, your consciousness, and in some way helps that traffic of thought in your brain this week as you practice being the observer in your life with great passion, leaning in to that space where you are the watcher, watching all of the thoughts, knowing that as we watch them, they can change, they can shift, and we can always come home to the present, out of the thoughts, into what is here, what is now, what is real and home in your heart. Blessings and blessings to you all. I hope you have a great week. So much love. And next week's meditation is postponed because I will be traveling. So just to let you know, we'll be out of the meditation mode next week. So continue on. Go to YouTube, watch the old ones, stay present, stay in your heart, stay loving. So much love.